Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at a no legendary team for the Open Master League. This is a team that I really want to try out in general really quick because a lot of people are not really able to build any legendary Pokemon. So here we go. We're going to have Pokemon that are either on recent events or even got a community day. We had 2 community day Pokemon here with the Metagross as well as the Dragonite. So if you played those days, you definitely should have enough XL candy for them. And we're going to have the Excadrill, which had recently a special event basically where we had so many Excadrill spawns. So if you played during that time, you're definitely going to have enough of them. Also, again, a little bit of a longer video just because I kind of want to showcase a little bit more of gameplay for this team here. Made 3 sets with this team, went a total of 8 and 7. So as we're currently around the 3200 range, I guess it's definitely fair to play this team here, which is definitely a good thing. So that, you can play a team that is not legendary and still going to win some games and even go positive. But of course, it's not going to be the craziest. And of course, I have to say here, also, you see the lag there, by the way, again. Like, I still have my frame drops. Like, frame drops is still really insanely bad for me going on there while we lose this first match here. It's definitely a little bit trickier to play with those Pokemon. There are, of course, like, those have very good matchups against certain Pokemon, but very bad matchups against other Pokemon as well, so like it's a little bit tricky sometimes to play around with this. Safe swap for this team, going to be the Excadrill here. While we see an interesting matchup here as well, this is going to be a very interesting one. We're going to see a Dragonite against a Dragonite here. As you see the Excadrill coming in, kind of telling me that they're most likely going to have a mirror team and run like the exact same team there. But they played a little bit better. This was my first game actually that I played with this team here. I battled immediately against the same team again. And my opponent, of course, knew how to play this matchup while I was literally unaware on how to play this one. Here, most I should shield this move up there for sure. Here I'm going to be forced to shield. Should have tried to go for the CMP-Tai. CMP-Tai was the only way for me to win this game at this point of time, but I didn't go for that, which I'm kind of sick of me in hindsight there. But there's not a lot that I can do here anymore. I will be able to get the final shield, I guess, here with my baited Earthquake from my Metagross, but there's not a lot that I can do here. They can just go for the straight Earthquake, and they're going to be able to win this game because they realized that their own Dragonite most likely doesn't really have any value on this matchup, while I didn't realize it at least, and lost because I didn't play it as well as my opponent. That's basically it. Like, my opponent knew how to play this matchup, they won because of this, and this is something that you then learn after a while in general playing this team. Here we're going to see a pretty horrible lead there as well, again with the MEWeedle. In general, I have to say, I didn't have the best matchups for this team. Like, honestly, that I even went positive with this team is kind of a miracle. I had so many bad leads. Honestly, I nearly lost, I think I lost at least like 60-70% of my leads here, which of course is always kind of awkward, but here we're going to see a Dragonite coming in. We will be able to go ahead, shield up the charge move from the opponent, going to be a superpower, as we will be able to go for one Rock Slide here right now, trying to get some damage onto them, trying to knock them out, and we're going to get the final shield of the opponent. We're going to be able to swap out into a Metagross. The opponent is still locked in here. This will allow us to get a ton of energy early, and this will be very decent for us, as we're going to see Gyarados coming in. This is not really decent for us. Gyarados is going to be a little bit of a trickier one to deal with, as of course all our moves are going to be resisted here. We're still going to be able to reach 2 Meteor Meshes in time, putting them into the red health range here, as they are forced to throw a charge move against me, but I think they're loaded up to 2 Awkward Tails at this point of time. Being able to knock out my Metagross here, I will go into my Dragonite here, and I'm going to swap out now immediately into my Excadrill because I want to get more energy here. And in comes now the Dragonite, and I was like, oh shoot. I really thought that I didn't get to a move here still, but it is actually just a Dragon Claw, which is amazing for us, as now we're going to be able to farm down and win this game here. Next opponent, let's take a look at this one. Whole lead, very okayish lead. It's actually not as crazy good as it seems like, but them swapping out into a Lugia is definitely very decent for us, as they're going to be able to go for one Meteor Mesh here. I don't want to leave this matchup with a lot of health left on my Metagross because, Metagross against Ho-Oh is something that you don't really want to face. We're going to see the Aeroblast coming through here, and we're going to see that it's going to do a ton of damage. We can overform it quite a bit, and we're going to be able to go for another Charge Bomb here. If they want to, they could realign here, and they're exactly going to go for that, which is going to be a little bit tricky for me, but honestly, I have my Excadrill here, and I can farm them all the way down. Expecting this is not an Aeroblast yet. I was wrong with that, and they're gonna go ahead and go into the Ho-Oh, and I misplay it again. I knew already, I should have swapped out here, but I didn't swap out. For whatever reason, I didn't swap out. It is definitely a mistake here. As you're going to see, my opponent going to be able to go for one charge move. We're going to be the Sacred Fire. Luckily, no debuff here. But I bet they're going to have something like the Dialga in the back at this point of time, because it does make a lot of sense. Ho-Oh is usually with Dialga, and yeah, I was right, and I was definitely wrong on how I played this game. I have to go for the bait here, and they're going to shield this move up, which is really nice for me. I'm going to be able to go for another charge move here as well. Superpower coming through here now. We're going to be very low, but we're going to be able to actually knock out the opponent. Can we still reach a move in time? And we can. And actually, while we're going to not play this one out perfectly, we're still going to be able to win this game here against the opponent. A very good game there. Next opponent, one that is already qualified for the for Worlds. So Tomahawk UK, a very good player, very well talented player. Horrible lead again for us. It's going to be the Ice type variant of Genesect. So yeah, as you're going to see here right now, it's going to be the Technoblast Ice. It's really bad for us, especially if they're going to have a say swap there, like against our Excadrill for their Kyogre. So as you're going to see here right now, the Draw Run coming through, going to do some decent damage, maybe forcing a shield here, maybe, just maybe. No, it's not. It's not going to force a shield here, sadly, and it's going to be allowing the opponent to farm me all the way down. Not ideal whatsoever. I can go into my Dragonite and get some Dragon Breath off here, but they can still go for one Thunder in time. Very nice coverage there for them, but yeah, as you can see here, Genesect is coming back in. I can go for one Superpower, allowing me now to swap out afterwards. Our Metagross is pretty decent against Genesect, but they are very low, and they have literally the perfect hard answer for me in the back. So they had the Kyogre for our Excadrill, and they're going to have the Giratina for our Metagross. There's nothing I can do about this. Like there's nothing really I can do about it in general. Very nicely played there that they go for the Omnius Wind, because it will allow them to farm us all the way down. This is also, of course, something that's very important for him in this matchup. I think otherwise I still had a chance, but like this, I don't have a chance, and it's going to be a good game here. But of course, yeah, like there's not a lot that I can do there. Steel type with Ice type coverage in the lead against our Dragon Flying type Pokemon, Kyogre against our Ground type Pokemon, and a Giratina against our Psychic type Pokemon. Stuff like this happen though. What do you do against the Dialga lead? You stay in and go for the Superpower, going to get some decent damage onto them, and we're going to bait out the Groudon now with our Say Swap of the Excadrill, which is very decent for us. Let's take a look at what we can do here as well. Drill Run is going to come through here afterwards. I'm going to shield this move up. It must be a Pressure's Blade, but nope, they're going to bait me. I should have been able to survive this bait here, I think, but the Drill Run is coming through here right now. I'm gonna get the shield from the opponent. I can go for another one, but nope, the opponent going to decide to go for their Fire Punch now, and thanks to the extra damage of Mudshot, it's now going to be enough to knock me out. Really unfortunate for us, as we're going to see the Fire Punch coming through, and they're going to swap out into their Dialga. We can catch the Iron Hand onto our Metagross, but this is not really looking too good for us here right now. Let's take a look what we can do here. Groudon's coming in. Again, we're going to have to go for the full farm at this point of time, I feel like. We're going to see the Fire Punch coming through here, and we have to go for... Actually, I'm going to go for the Charge move here. Mostly, I don't know. Like, there's nothing that I can really do here. They're going to shield this move up anyway. Feel like there's not a lot that I can do here in order to win this game. Fire Punch coming through. We're going to be able to still farm down here, and we're going to see the Zacian coming in. We're actually still reaching the Meteor Mesh. This should be enough to knock them out here, right? It is not, and we have to reach another Dragon Claw in time, and nope. We are just barely going to miss out of here. They're going to survive that with a few HP left, and that's really unlucky. Like, honestly, very unlucky, but still, good game there to my opponent. Another horrible lead for us. Honestly, it's not really going too well for us so far. You're going to see the opponent here coming in with their Dragonite though. That's going to be okay for us, as we're going to be able to go ahead and go for some Rock Slide damage here. Rock Slide going to do some pretty decent damage against them. We can go for another one to force a shield against them. They're going to most likely shield this move up. And we had a similar matchup already earlier, so we're going to play this basically the same. We're going to shield up the Superpower from the opponent. We can still go for one Rock Slide here. I hope that they're going to shield this move up actually, so I can swap out into my Metagross and farm them down. That's exactly what I'm going to try to do here. No matter what they have in the back, we're going to still be able to do some decent damage with our Metagross. They're going to go into their Melmetal again. Okay, that's totally fine for me. We see here they go straight for the Superpower, not waiting out any time, so I can overfarm a little bit here and go for 4 extra fast moves. Go for the Earthquake here, knock them out, and let's take a look what's coming in here against us. It's going to be the Lugia. It's going to be okay for us. Still not ideal, but we can still go ahead and go for one charge move here against them. Going to be the Media Mesh, of course, and I can swap out into my Excadrill, allowing me to go for a Rock Slide. Going to punish them a little bit, going to get them a little bit lower and put them into a Dragon Breath range, as well as they're going to be forced to throw a charge move here. It's going to be the Sky Attack, which is still not enough to knock us out. We can knock out the opponent's Dragonite, and at this point of time we should be kind of fine here. We're going to put the opponent's Lugia very, very low. I can go into my Dragonite there. Even if they go for the Air Blast, I should still be able to win this game, but I'm not sure about this. We're going to see it now. Yes, Air Blast is not knocking us out yet, but our Dragon Claw is coming through here right now, knocking out the opponent's Lugia, winning us the game, and we can take a look at the next one. Let's take a look at this one. We're going to see the Giratina Origin against us in the lead, very decent lead for us. We're going to see the Lugia coming in here, and we're going to be able to wall the opponent so far, but I feel like there might have something like Zacian in the back or something. Kind of something I want to try out, Zacian as a closer, because if you run Lugia Sesop, you usually get out the answers for Zacian as well, like the Metagross here, for example. So maybe that might be a play to do for a different video, but I'm not sure about this. We're going to be able to knock out the opponent's Lugia, in comes the Giratina again, and of course we're going to be able to go for one Media Mash here in order to put around like 60% of their health away, as we're going to get the full farm down there, but of course we're going to take a lot of damage from this Dragon Claw coming, Omnius Wind coming through actually. Okay, it's not the move they expected, and we're going to have a Dialga now against an Excadrill. My opponent knows, of course, that Excadrill is a very decent matchup against the Dialga, and they just forfeit. And next opponent, Dale Toonami, one of my faction mates as well. We're going to see here a very good matchup for us. We're going to see the Dialga coming in. What I'm going to do here is, as you're going to see as well, I'm going to overfarm by quite a bit, as you're going to be able to go for the shield against the Draco Meteor, allowing us to now undercharge this drill run, and we're going to be able to farm down this Dialga. Could have even undercharged a little bit more, but it is okay, because now actually it's basically perfect undercharge, because I have to go for 2 fast moves here anyway. So that was basically perfect. I can go for some Rock Slides here now against the Ho-Oh, and this will be very nice, because if they want to keep their Ho-Oh around, they are forced to use all the shields here as well, because Excadrill is just so spammy. Those Rock Slides are just coming in very, very fast, as we're going to be able to go into our Dragonite here right now. This Dragonite will be able to take this Brave Bird, and in comes the Lugia, which we're going to be countering with our Metagross here as well. It's going to be very, very decent for us, as we're going to be able to go for one more Media Mesh. We need another one to knock out the opponent later on, but we kind of want to get our Metagross a little bit lower here. So Aeroblast coming through, going to do some decent damage against us. We still should be able to survive our another charge move here. Hopefully, because it's going to be a little bit tricky here as well. Sky Attack coming through, we can go for one Media Mesh. Going to do enough damage now to knock out the opponent's Lugia, and not only that, we're going to be able to go for another charge move here, knock out the opponent's Ho-Oh as well at this point of time. Going to be able to win this game. So, very good game there, of course, kind of hard countered for the opponent there. There was not a lot that they can do about this one. But we will find another Dialga in the lead. What are you going to do again? Superpower and dip. We're going to try to get a shield advantage immediately, as this will bring us definitely some kind of advantage for later on, as this Excadrill is coming through here right now. Would be able to one-shot it, of course, from this range after the Dragon Breath, but they're going to go for their Draco Meteor, allowing us to go for some drill runs against the incoming Giratina. Very good that we're gonna get out this Giratina here, because you don't really want to face it with the Metagross, as those drill runs is going to chunk away on their health. Going to be very, very nice for us, as we're going to see most likely a Shadow Ball coming through. It's going to be a Shadow Ball. We're going to shield this move up as well, as I can force basically the final shield of the opponent if they want to. Yeah, they're going to shield this move up. They can go back into my Dragonite. At this point of time, I don't really care too much about my Dragonite, as we're going to see the Shadow Ball coming through. I can go into my Metagross here right now, try to farm them down. And we're going to see incoming here the Dialga. They actually swapped into the Dialga on their own. And I'm going to go for the Media Mesh instead of the Earthquake, because I feel like that's kind of the range for the Media Mesh already. And it seems like it is the case, but we literally were just able to farm them all the way down. And now it's a Metagross time, as we're going to see the Lugia coming in here, approaching us. We're going to be able to go for one Media Mesh, putting around 50% of their health down there, as they are the Shadow variant, which is going to take a little bit more damage. And Metagross is just going to sweep this endgame here, destroying the Dialga, destroying the Lugia, destroying the Giratina, and getting a triple kill. Good game there. Next opponent, we're going to encounter Mewtwo in the lead. Very decent for us. We're going to play this around... Okay, it's not very decent for us. Why am I talking here? We're going to play this a little bit differently than you might expect, and I actually misplayed this a little bit. Turns out, yeah, we're going to take a look at this anyway. I'm going to be able to catch this move here, and I get the extra fast move through, which is really important for this matchup, because now I'm going to be able to outspeed them to the next one. Very decent catch by the opponent here onto the Groudon, doesn't really matter too much anyway. But you're going to see me, yeah, you're going to see it anyway. We're going to get another charge move off here with our Excadrill. Gonna get the drill run off, and they are forced to throw still a charge move against us. We will be able to farm them all the way down. But honestly, I should have thrown my energy onto the Mewtwo, because as you can see here, I will be able to farm down this Groudon as I wasn't able to realign my Pokemon here. But they're going to have in the back, of course, the Zacian, and at this point of time, this game is kinda over. I'm forced to try to farm them all the way down here. This is my only option for winning this game, is farming down the Mewtwo. It's looking pretty decent actually, and of course they're gonna get to a move here. Is this a Side Strike? It is not, and we're going to lose this game because of that one. If we just barely got there, like, it would have been so nice, but sadly that was not the case. Even though I luck out and get this extra move here off, which is not how it's supposed to be either. This is not the game, like, it is how it's supposed to be, but like the game mechanic is so inconsistent that it's more often not the case that you're gonna get this move through than that you get this move through here. In comes Wild Charge from the opponent, now going to finish us up. But yeah, of course, like, we had 100 energy on our Dragonite. If we used this on like the Mewtwo already in the beginning, I think we would have been better off. But it is okay, we're going to see here the MEWeedle against us. Not the elite that we want to face, of course. Double super effective against us. Again, we're going to lose quite a lot of leads here, sadly. Thought that Dragonite would win a few more, but I don't see a lot of Groudon. Like, I haven't seen, I think, a single Groudon since Muscle League came back in the lead. As well as I haven't seen any like Kyogre in the lead really as well. Like, it's kind of rare to see those Pokemon. So the Pokemon that usually Dragonite would be able to beat, they're kind of gone from the lead right now for whatever reason. I don't know really, but here we're going to see the MEWeedle shielding up the charge moves. Totally okay for us. They will be able to realign their Pokemon, which is a smart idea for them. But they're going to swap out immediately for whatever reason into their Dialga here, as you're going to see now that we can still get off the Earthquake against them. And this Earthquake going to do enough damage to knock them out straight away. In comes the Zekrom, which is a little bit of a tricky one, and I'm going to swap out here, which I feel like was such a bad play by me. I thought my game plan was here to go ahead and go for one Dragon Claw in order to, like, go for one Earthquake in order to knock them out, but we're actually still going to be able to reach the Dragon Claw in time, allowing us now to go for one Meteor Mash against the opponent's MEWeedle, finishing up this game here and winning us this one as well. Let's take a look at this. We're going to see that they are, I think, forfeited or something close there, but I don't know. Goodbye, MEWeedle for sure. As you can take a look at the next game, we're going to see Zacian in the lead here. Horrible lead for us again. We're going to be able to, it's actually the final game as well, go into our Excadrill, and I misplayed this by quite a bit, to be fair. I thought that they would throw already, but they didn't want to throw, so I went ahead and go straight for the drill run, which was not the play that you would usually do in this scenario. You wait until the opponent debuffs themselves, and you just then go ahead and go for your charge moves, but I didn't do this here, so I'm going to let my Excadrill go down because I would have needed to double shield this Pokemon anyway. Like this, I'm going to be able to shield up the the Metagross here at least, and we're going to see a Dialga coming in. We can go ahead and go for one Earthquake here for the final game. Let's take a look if this is going to knock out the opponent, or if they're going to shield this move up. They're going to shield this move up, and I actually kind of misplayed this game quite a bit here as well. In comes Thunder. Going to be a little bit difficult for us. Of course, we were able to shield this move up here, but I'm going to overfarm by a little bit too much, as they were able to still go for one Iron Head here right now. It's not a Thunder, but still going to put us into a range where I don't really want to be in, as I think they would be able to farm me down now with their Zacian. Turns out they're going to go back into their Zacian here as well, and I'm going to try to go for the Meteor Mash still. We're going to get them low, but sadly not low enough. They can still go for one charge move here, and it's going to be a good game, because there's nothing in the deck that we would be able to beat at this point of time. It's not a Lugia, so yeah, this is going to be it for this video. Definitely still a team that you can run. Like, I went positive at least with this team for this video, but yeah, it's a little bit more tricky, of course, to use no legendary Pokemon for this kind of meta. Kind of have to say that, of course, legendaries are definitely a little bit better than those. But so, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!